Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Trust all is well. Dropped off the two older daughters earlier this morning, going back to university, and then had a very interesting discussion on NTV with Debal after that. And I took this photograph of Nairobi around the New Stanley at 6:17 a.m. I didn't have much time because there was a wonderful moon. I kept looking for it. Macro thoughts, geo-tagged tweets over one weekend in October 2016. It's interesting to see Africa's activity in comparison with the rest of the world. The World Bank came out with their economic update. Global growth edges up to 2.7% despite weak investment. Growth in advanced economies is expected to edge up to 1.8% in 2017. This is the World Bank's January 2017 Global Economic Prospects Report. Growth in emerging market and developing economies as a whole should pick up to 4.2% this year from 3.4% in the year just ended amid modestly rising commodity prices. And I'll get to the African component when we get to Africa. Bitcoin has had a huge sell-off. The People's Bank of China revealed it was placing the country's major Bitcoin trading platforms under close scrutiny. In the first regulatory move, China's central bank has taken over the virtual currency since it defined Bitcoin as a commodity rather than a currency in 2013, when it ruled it out of its financial regulatory coverage. Bitcoin price plunged sharply, and I'll get you a chart in a moment. I had a very lovely dinner yesterday. The soup was a langoustine soup with candied tomato and caviar. I put up a photograph. It really was delicious, as was the whole meal. The restaurant's called Pango Brasserie Fairview. Went there when I was much younger. And I asked about the maitre d', apparently retired. Stay the Course and the Selly, photo by Mark Drury. I think we all need to stay the course, don't we? Political reflections. This photograph is from Libération in France. Barack Obama exiting the stage, really feels like it's a new era. And, now, I, for one, appreciated his abilities. I think, I disagreed with many things: the drone war, the interventions in Libya and Syria were unnecessary. But overall, I think he did lift our chins higher. The question is, what happens next? The new normal. Is this real? Is this President Trump in this angry exchange with the CNN reporter after the president-elect refuses a question? Listen to it. The link is up there. It was his first news conference in more than 6 months. I concluded by saying, is this the new normal? Which I think it is. Regarding the Russia claims, CIA agents say there may be more than one tape of sexual nature. The President-elect and the Kremlin have denied the explosive, if unverified, allegations made in a dossier believed to have been compiled by a former British spy that Russian intelligence agencies have compromising material about Mr. Trump. A BBC reporter made inquiries to the CIA about the allegations, said he received a message from the agency saying they had more than one source for the claims, which they regarded as credible. There was supposedly more than one tape, not just video but audio, more than one date, not just in Moscow but in St. Petersburg as well, said Paul Wood in a live broadcast from Washington. And what's clearly, at this level, it's not moving the dial, because I think Trump supporters are seeing it as fake news. Hillary supporters, it's a little bit like Obama's birther debate. But my question is, what happens if such a tape arrives in the public domain? And I think that's the key challenge here. And I, without making any assertions, this kind of behavior I've found in people that I know risky sexual behavior tends to be very compulsive. And from what we can see, I think, I'm making, I have 3 daughters, a wife, but you can imagine if everyone's going Trump, Trump to you all day long, at some point you think, good God. I think that's true. I remember dating someone many years ago. She said, Ali Khan, flattery will get you everywhere, and she wasn't wrong. But the point is, this kind of behavior would be in sync with what we have already heard. But I think I'm asking myself, where is the tipping point? The tipping point is, I think, something coming on into the public domain. Even that they might be able to say it's faked as well. Let's see. Paul Wood, this is the BBC fellow who says there's more to it than just one tape. Take a look at that. Could Trump have been caught in a classic honey trap? Asks Counterpunch. Again, maybe the whole honey trap scenario involving Trump is as phony as every other fake news story on the internet. When it comes to sex scandals, it's not hard to grab the public's attention. Still, given the clandestine community's sordid history of mischief and their obsession with obtaining leverage, why on God's earth would they not do it if they had the means? Fair point. Now, global research, which tends to be an outlier in their interpretation of some news events, fake intel document the neocons' declaration of war against Trump. First, and this is the really crucial part, there is more than enough here to impeach Trump on numerous grounds, both political and legal. Let me repeat again, this is an attempt at removing Donald Trump from the White House. This is a political coup d'etat. Second, this document smears everybody involved. Trump himself, of course, but also the evil Russians and their ugly Machiavellian techniques. Trump is thereby confirmed as a sexual pervert who likes to hire prostitutes to urinate on him. As for the Russians, they are basically accused of trying to recruit the President of the United States as an agent of their security services. That would make Trump a traitor, by the way. Took me back to Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. So it's an extraordinary situation, isn't it? I called it a hothouse frenzy when I was talking about the digital side of things, and it continues to be one. So let's watch it, how it pans out. I mean, I'm still. I give Trump the benefit of the doubt. I think he's got enough in his toolbox to reinvigorate the United States. I think I think he's got a very short attention span, so someone's got to control him on Twitter, and probably do a deep dive into his personal life to work out where the next curveball is going to come from. And I suspect because of his position, it's been difficult to have that conversation with him, but I think it's overdue. I am certain many in the Saudi leadership have sleepless nights on Yemen, said Paul Sullivan, an adjunct professor of security studies at Georgetown University in Washington. The worst situations are those that drag on and have heavy costs and no clear solution or ending. War is hell, and Yemen is an especially bad hell. Saudi Arabia reminds me of Gulliver enmeshed in a Lilliputian net, and I don't see the strategy of getting out of it. China can't have access to the South China Sea Isles they built, Tillerson says. This is a big statement, actually. We're going to have to send China a clear signal that first, the island building stops, and second, your access to those islands is also not going to be allowed, he said. When he was asked whether he would support a more aggressive posture in the South China Sea, he compared China's actions to those of Russia in Crimea. Conclusions, it looks like Tillerson's going to bear the pivot's fangs again, because I thought it was just, falling by the wayside. 14th of November last year, I said, to triangulate China, the US needs Russia on its side and not on China's. That's a fact. And Trump has already indicated that China is the main adversary, and it's difficult to understand why the US was seeking to send Vladimir into Xi Jinping's embrace. And therefore, I agree with Trump in some ways. To triangulate China, the US needs Russia on its side and not on China's. And I was saying that for a while. Have a look at the satellite image of the Fairy Cross Reef located in the South China Sea. This caught my attention. Striking a peace sign and selfies could lead to fingerprint data theft, so think about that. International markets, the three worst currencies of 2017, show that politics, not economics, are driving markets. That's Holger. Turkish lira, worst performer. Mexican peso, second worst. Turkish lira, I said, it finds itself at the epicenter of the Syrian blowback. This is the problem. The Mexican peso sits at the bleeding edge of Trump's policies. President Nieto said to Trump, these are the non-negotiables, take a look at them. Let's move on to the currency markets. Euro dollar up higher, 106.33. Dollar index lower, froth came off, 101.07. 99.50 and 100 are key levels. Japanese yen strengthens further, 114.06. Swiss franc 10087. The pound got as low as 120.40. Now at 122.80, Aussie just below 75 at 0.7494. India rupee 68.055. South Korean won 11.76 at 0.88. The Rial 319.70. Egyptian pound 18.5365. And the Rand 13.6258. Dollar index, I'll put up a 3-month chart. You can see it came off the boil quite sharply as folks recalibrated the future direction of interest rates and so forth. Dollar yen just fell through Wednesday's low. Now we're at levels of early December, 114.06 last. Euro dollar above 106. Take a look at this chart. Bitcoin, I think, was the big driver of this move after plunging on worries that Chinese authorities are going to tighten oversight. Gold prices back above $1,200. I'm bearish gold. It's got a bit of a bid. Take a look at David's chart. WTI open interest rose to a record earlier this week. Continued climb as investors put their faith in OPEC cuts. Crude oil, I'll put up a 1-month chart. WTI is at $52.48. Remember what I said about $60. Let's hope that comes to play out. Emerging markets, and look at this. This is the Turkish lira. And it keeps collapsing. I haven't checked it this morning. But this tiny Gulf country with $335 billion global empire, of course, it's Qatar, regaining its appetite for deals in the past 2 months alone. Qatar invested in Turkey's biggest poultry producer, Russian oil giant Rosneft, and UK gas company National Grid PLC. Qatar's Rosneft $11 billion deal with Glencore in December builds on the country's growing Russian portfolio. Qatar agreed to buy 24.9% of the St. Petersburg airport in July and committed $2 billion to the state-run Russia Direct Investment Fund in 2014. I wrote about Qatar in May last year when I described it as punching beyond its size. I said the ubiquity of Al Jazeera after a period when it was caught in Donald Rumsfeld's crosshairs gave the state outsized soft power across the Middle East and beyond. Today, Qatar is a big player in the region, punching far beyond its absolute size, both in terms of hard and soft power. In a geopolitical context, Qatar played a big role in toppling Gaddafi in Libya, and its influence can be similarly seen in the move to remove President Assad in Syria. In foreign policy terms, Qatar has packed a big punch beyond hosting the US military at Udeid Air Base. Put up a photograph I took of Doha from the sky. Another piece I wrote in 2011, Soft Power, Qatar and Al Jazeera. They began to deploy a lot more hard power after I wrote that article in 2011. I'll put up a photograph of the Doha Forum. Really was outstanding. I attended it in May last year. I had a photograph of the Emir of Qatar and President Ashraf Ghani. Brazil surprised the markets with a larger than expected interest rate cut on Wednesday. A unanimous vote, central bank's 9-member monetary policy committee, known as COPOM, decided to cut its benchmark Selic rate by 75 basis points to 13% after 2 straight cuts of 25 basis points each. Sub-Saharan Africa, everyday Africa, a passenger boat slides across the calm, late evening waters of the River Nile. en route to Moyo from the shores of Adjumani. Very sort of therapeutic photograph, I thought. Okay, World Bank Economic Prospects Report for Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa is expected to pick up modestly to 2.9% in 2017. Oil export is expected to be weaker. Growth in economies that are not natural resource intensive should remain robust. Growth in South Africa expected to edge up to 1.1%. Nigeria is forecast to rebound from recession and grow at a 1% pace. Angola is projected to expand at a 1.2% pace. These were all substantially lower last year. And if you're interested in the report, the link is there, and Sub-Saharan Africa starts at page 173. Angola 1.2% versus 0.4 in 2016. DR Congo 4.7 versus 2.7 last year. Ethiopia 8.9 in full year 17 versus 8.4 full year 16. So it's a pretty strong estimate for Ethiopia, notwithstanding the state of emergency. Kenya 6% this year. 5.9% last year. Rwanda 6% this year and last. Tanzania 7.1% in 17, 6.9 in 16. And they got Zimbabwe at a full year 3.8% after 0.4% in 2016. So they did this again last year. The January report was substantially downgraded in Africa, and I think they're probably going to downgrade that a little bit. Looks a bit too optimistic for me. Sex work in Zimbabwe, less stigma, more competition, lower prices apparently. Police raids used to scare away competitors, says The Economist. Only the brave remained on the streets. Now it's a free-for-all, says 25-year-old Sazini from Bulawayo. She adds that without the police paying attention, there had been an increase in robberies and rape. Faced with a slumping economy, Zimbabweans are so desperate that for many, even cut-price sex work seems like the least bad option. South African all shares had a strong start to the year. We're up 3.39% this year, dollar versus rand. We're at the top of the range for the rand, 13.6258. I'm sort of cautiously bullish about the rand because I think we're going to see more political certainty, less volatility this year as President Zuma heads for the exit. Egyptian pound, 18.5365. Nigeria will be closing Taiwan's office in its capital, Abuja. So obviously one of the preconditions of a possible loan that China might make to Nigeria. Nigerian all share down 1.82% this year. Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index up 1.98% in 2017. I'm bullish about the Ghana Stock Exchange Index in 2017. Unveiling the National Super Alliance at Bomas of Kenya on January the 11th. This is the opposition leaders from left, Nick Salat, Moses Wetangula, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and Musalia Mudavadi during the unveiling of the National Super Alliance at Bomas. Personally, I think they need to coalesce around a single candidate who's not Raila Odinga. He's got to play kingmaker again like he did in 2002. And it could even be a blank sheet candidate like Adama Barrow. That would probably be the optimal one. The big picture point is a demographic one, as I've said previously. This African demographic dividend stroke terminator is coming into that voting age right at this moment. I think that is a very important moment in Africa's history, more so because it seems people had this Trumpian mood, which is we'd like to try anything else. And that's why you saw those elections in West Africa. President Kenyatta was visiting with Narendra Modi in Gujarat in India. This was one of the photographs with him, Narendra Modi and Paul Kagame. Kenya is to raise $1.05 billion via syndicated loans to fund the budget gap. So that's good news. They're not going to be coming on to the domestic market. I like this photograph of a Kenya Airways B787 starting up at night before her flight back to Nairobi. This is from Aviation Photos. Shilling 103.85. It's down 1.4% this year, which is really neither here nor there, although there's been an enormous hullabaloo. Nairobi all share down 5.68% this year at September 2013 lows. NSE 20 down 4.35% this year. lowest level since October 2009. Put up a graph that Kenya Wall Street put up, so you can see that we are at a 209 low. And then finally, let me look at some trade data. US has widened its lead over the UK as the top importer of Kenyan goods. And this is largely because Kenya is benefiting from the AGOA trade pact, which allows African countries to export goods to America tax-free. Textiles and apparel account for about 80% of Kenya's total exports to the US under the pact. Women's trousers and shorts, 6.8 billion, followed by men's trousers, 6.1 billion, coffee, 2.9 billion. Other items, tea, 1.8 billion, titanium, this is base titanium, 1.6 billion, so that's pretty cool, I thought. There's new export that's come onto the roster. So, just to finish up, we're still in a bearish market at the stock market, but bear in mind, markets tend to try and price in what's going to happen in the future. We priced a lot in here. Kenya shilling, I think a lot depends on the oil price more than anything, so let's keep an eye on that. If we tick much higher, I don't expect us to. In fact, I expect us to come down. In part, that's why I'm bullish about the shilling and not, one of these naysayers looking for 110, 120. 107 is a key level on the chart. Once again, thank you kindly for stopping by.